a teacher and a Paralympian, and from Next Step Foundation. And with me, there are these three gentlemen. They're gonna introduce themselves and also say a bit of what they're doing, of what they do, and then we'll continue. I can reintroduce myself again. I'm Asia, and I'll be your moderator. So, no noise making, please. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Dr. David Okello. I'm a mental health advocate, innovator, and researcher. I'm with Hemafric Consulting, and we do innovations for mental health care, digital and AI-powered. I'm also a fellow of the Royal Academy of Engineering, UK. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. So I'm Mark, currently at the Next Step Foundation, working a lot on AI, and especially what you should say to AI and what you should not.
Hello, my name's Chris Harrison. I'm one of the co-founders of Next Step Foundation, and I think we've got a bit of a Next Step reunion up here. I'm a white male, no hair on my head, but some on my face, glasses, blue blazer, and some very sharp blue and white shoes, if I may say so. One of the things that Next Step is focused on is empowering persons with disabilities to economic independence through job training and job placement. And as part of that, we're very focused on supporting the mental health needs of persons with disabilities. And so I think we're going to talk a little bit more about how that focus has expanded to include young people with disabilities to support their mental health and provide sexual and reproductive health information as well.
Thank you so much. So I'm told that we've got like less than, it was about to be 60 minutes, but now we've got 33 minutes. So we can shoot so many things. I will talk about myself for a bit, and then the panel will say why they are here today, and they're gonna share some stuff and answer questions along the way. But to share you on my mental journey in relation with my story, so you can acclimatize yourself with some questions as we go by. Like I said, I'm Asia Mohamed Sororo, and most of you today have been asking me if I was born like this. But I wasn't born like this. I got train accident in 1992 when I was 2 years of age. And then I lost my 3 fingers on my left hand, and lost my legs, both legs. And during that time, during the actual time of what was happening, I get to lost my father because he gets to see all those stuff, what was going on, and he like got stroke. You know, when you are too shocked, too stunned to speak, and you're like, oh no, things that are unimaginable. And then he just died right there and there. And the ambulance that took me to the hospital also took my father. And the journey hasn't been easy. And most of the questions you guys have been asking me all this day is how do you overcome challenges? How do you overcome challenges? I will say challenges will always be there, because in this world there's nothing new. They are all repetition of stuff, repetition of things. Challenges are always be there. They're always gonna be there, but it's not about the challenge, it's about you. It is you. What are you gonna do about yourself? So I will say, on my perspective, is that I accepted reality. I'm a very realistic person. I accepted reality. It is what it is. So it is this. What should I do? and I moved on. So once you moved on, it's easier to overcome all those challenges. Like I said, challenges always be there. And in this club, every day, every night, we are being added. We are now billion. We might end up trillion. You just don't know. Every day, somewhere is being disabled right now. It's getting a disability, maybe through accident, through something. So it's not about overcoming challenges. You start with yourself. Oneself is accepting reality. Yes, I've got no legs, I've got 7 fingers, and what am I gonna do? Asasia Mohamed Sururu. So that was me. Once I understood myself, it was easier for me to overcome everything that comes my way. So that is briefly about myself. You get to have questions later after each panels. After each panel, I say why. Why are we here today? It's not chat box, not chat GP like in the morning. This is pure us. Okay. Just some few questions as you get to know the panelists themselves. Dr. Okello, I will start with you. I was told that we've got 33 minutes. Dr. Okello, I will start with you. As a doctor and a mental expert, as a doctor and a mental expert, what are the key opportunities and potential risks of integrating AI into mental services within Kenya public health and community health or educational system?
Thank you. Now let me start by, I work at the intersection of disability and mental health, and I do understand the stigma that comes with being different. I got into this space after getting a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and put on antipsychotics. Then as I was on those, I found myself gravitating towards music, and not just any music, but binaural beats. And listening to these binaural beats, I was able to get wind of antipsychotics, and I've been able to manage my condition. And further research on this work led me to persons with disability, more specifically the neurodivergent conditions. Binaural beats helps them to relax so that they are able to reduce on the meltdowns, and we are also able to taper down on their medication. And when this goes down, we have better mental state. Now, technology makes mental health services accessible, because we have a few psychiatrists and other mental health professionals compared to the population's demand. So now AI and digital technology is able to bridge this gap. And bridging this gap, it makes the service available to you even beyond the therapist's office. So now the opportunities that technology brings is, one, early diagnosis. Mental health is rarely diagnosed, and it will take somebody about 5 to 10 years before they actually go and seek help. Now, when this happens, a lot is taking place in the background, and you'll wonder why somebody who was okay today suddenly dies by suicide tomorrow, and you struggle to connect the dots. It is a process. And with disability, there is that stigma that comes from community, but there is also that stigma that comes from within, and it is the stigma from within that makes our mental health condition even worse. So now, how can we solve that stigma from within so that we can be more resilient emotionally and mentally? And other opportunities besides the early diagnosis is reducing stigma. Now, there's a lot of stigma around traditional mental health care. And if you tell somebody today, go and see a psychologist, the first thing that comes to their mind is, I'm not crazy. And they use the word crazy not in a positive way, but in a negative way. And technology enables us to overcome that stigma so that the services are more accessible. There's that stigma because of culture. And within society, if you ask an ordinary man, can you go and see a psychologist? It will be met with a lot of resistance. But if you give the same man a technology tool that they can access within their own private time, within their own private space, they will seek that service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kello. Thank you so much, Dr. Kello. Assuming that you all have read the schedule, that we are talking about tools that are accessible to mental health and awareness. And that's what Dr. Okello was talking about. I hope you all understood what he said. Later after all panels have talked, we will have some questions from you guys. Okay. Mark, it's your time. As an AI expert, how do I phrase this? As an AI expert, what is your experience? What is your experience like in relation with your life? In relation with your life as a person living with disability?
Okay, so again, to start with, I'm Mark. To my visually impaired community, I'm in a wheelchair. I'm quadriplegic. That means I have partial paralysis of my hands and complete from the chest going all the way down. So, and also today I'm wearing all black from my the thingy I've worn inside, and black trouser and black shoes. My wheelchair is black, and I have a pink shirt, and I have what is it called? I have afro. So so my journey. I got a car accident actually 3 years ago, 5th of December 2021, and became a quadriplegic. I know, yeah, yes, it happened so fast. So, and we're here. So during that period, a lot was going on in my head. First of all, the change that happened so drastic, and I was in my 4th year at the University of Nairobi, pursuing economics and sociology, and I had to figure out my way. So I've gotten the accident. What next? So found my way into tech and AI, and what I can say now for me, tech and AI, it's accessibility. I don't think without it I'd be where I am today. And also on my mental health journey, it has played a huge part. Before I joined the Next Step Foundation, I used to play a huge part in a lot of medical trials. There's an app we tried with another hospital, I think it's in the US, where we had virtual therapy sessions with real humans. And joining Next Step with now my knowledge and expertise, which I've taught myself on the AI, I've gotten to expose myself to all these tools, and now it has, how do I put this? it has helped in, I can say to some level, stabilizing my mental health by one, giving me at least some level of independence, thus a level of certainty, as some of the mental health challenges that us young people tend to have, it's because of uncertainty. And we've saw with the changes in both economy and also the stigma around all this, you'd find us going to all these tools, I'd say, like the current ones we're having, that is ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest, as our like companion and solution in times maybe you're feeling lonely. But for me, I had not gone to that level. I didn't get there because I did accept it so fast and seek sessions from actual therapists. And the queues were too long, and also there are some things you couldn't tell the person because, again, your privacy and all those things. And AI, it's a place that AI can and would bridge. Yeah, so I don't know how. Yeah.
You are right on track. You've got 1 minute.
Oh, okay. So with all these tools going on, it's time. It's and also maybe it's something I wanted to put across is that again what Dr. Okello said, that it's helping in early diagnosis. As someone who got a diagnosis like a few weeks ago of another condition, I tried to engage the tools I've been interacting with, and guess what? They told me something close to whatever my psychiatrist had told me. So I think it's a bridge that it's actually, it's a gap that AI and tech it's actually bridging, and but I'll put a disclaimer that there are some things we are already telling AI we are not supposed to be telling it. And I think it's maybe on this session I'll mention a little bit about that, and also should be having a session on talking of how you're supposed to interact with all these tools and what you're supposed to share and what not. But for me, I already am really exposed and I have shared a lot with AI. I know I've done all that and it's risky, but I'm here to help you not do what I've done, just for your own good.
Thank you so much, Mark. We've got a practitioner, very skilled one in Tumaini. Tumaini is upcoming app that for health mental, and Chris there is gonna tell us all about it in more detailed way, and then we'll share some of the tools that I also use them, and then we will have questions from you guys. Chris, take it away.
Thank you, Asia. So hopefully we have some screenshots of the app that we can show here in a minute. So the journey began, as I mentioned, the foundation is focused on empowering persons with disabilities to achieve economic independence through meaningful employment. And one of the things that we discovered in talking with some of the corporate partners who had employed our participants was that they lacked self-confidence. They didn't ask questions, maybe they didn't do well with constructive criticism, had trouble working in groups. And so we looked at the way we were doing our job readiness training to focus more on confidence. But we'd had a relationship with a school in Thika called Joytown. Asia went to Joytown. I think 3 of our other employees went to Joytown.
Yes.
Joytown's a school for kids with physical disabilities here in Kenya. And so we went to Joytown and said, would you guys be interested if we tried to do a mental health intervention with your students so that we can address their mental health needs at a younger age, before they come into our training programs. And the idea was to bring counselors with disabilities into the school to counsel the students. And the program's been very successful. We're in Joytown now. We expanded into Treeside in Kiambu County, which is a school for kids with hearing impairment. So we have one counselor who is deaf and knows Kenya Sign Language, and then we have another counselor who knows Kenya Sign Language. And then at Joytown, the counselors we bring in all have physical disabilities. The idea being that if the students can recognize someone with a counselor with a disability, they're more likely to be open, not feel like they have to explain the disability to a counselor, et cetera. Well, the limitation there, obviously, is we're only with these students about every other week during the academic year. So over the course of a full academic year, we get to interact with the students about 12 to 14 times for an hour or two at a time. And so there's an obvious gap that exists between when the students are able to engage with us and when they're the rest of the school year, but of course, critically, when they go home, because a lot of the mental health issues that arise from their experience in the village. So whether it's riding on the bus and the other, your fellow students don't want to touch you because they're afraid they're going to catch your disability, whether it's someone who's in a wheelchair who doesn't have a caregiver who can take care of them all throughout the day, right? So they get neglected at home. So what we found was that the students, particularly when they come back from break, tend to have even more severe mental health issues. And so the idea was, as Mark was talking about, AI exists, generative AI in particular, right? The ability of humans to interact with computers and receive responses as if you're speaking with a human. And so we started building what we call Tumaini, which is Swahili for hope. It's a mental health chatbot that also provides sexual and reproductive health. It is targeted specifically for students with disabilities. We started off with a prototype that was just, so if you're technically minded, it's just a wrapper that's built on top of ChatGPT. We did that intentionally because we really just wanted to get it in the hands of some young people with disabilities to get their feedback, to see if they would use it, to see what kind of questions they would ask. Based on that initial feedback, we've now migrated over to a different large language model as the foundation. So if anybody from Kenya might have heard of a company called Jacaranda Health. So Jacaranda Health deals with maternal health issues. They've developed a maternal health chatbot, and as part of that development, fine-tuned one of Meta's open source large language models. I believe they call it Uzila Llama. So it's a large language model trained on Swahili, which means that students can speak to the Tumaini chatbot in Swahili or in English and get responses back in that same language. One of the exciting things about where we are with AI is that there are more and more language models being developed in what are referred to as low resource languages, so languages that don't have a lot of content online in that language, which unfortunately is most languages in Africa. But the technology is getting to the point now where more and more African languages are going to be available as a foundation model for apps like Tumaini to provide mental health support. There are quite a number of challenges, some we knew, some we didn't, about having a mental health chatbot. Obviously, safety is a huge concern because you're talking about young people, you're talking about their mental health issues, you're talking, we provide sexual and reproductive health as well. So we really need to be careful in terms of setting up guardrails for what the chatbot can and can't say. One of the things we weren't really, an unknown at the beginning. When we've had experience in this in the past, if you wanted to tell the chatbot, okay, there's certain words that we don't want you to use. So it's called a blacklist. Don't use these words. Well, one of the things we found when we had this first group of students is these are young people. They don't know technical terms, particularly around sexual and reproductive health. So they're talking to the chatbot like they talk to their friends. Well, we need to be conscious of when we give a response, you know, if you start using very clinical medical terms, right? If the young person doesn't understand those terms, you're not giving them information that's useful. Well, that then creates lots of problems because words that you would otherwise say to the chatbot, hey, don't use that word, right? Now all of a sudden you have to come up with a context in which it's okay to use that word and context in which you don't, right? So it's okay if you're using a colloquial term to refer to genitalia, for example, if the student is asked a question about reproductive health, but not okay to use that same term if a student is using it as a pejorative to refer to somebody else. So lots of challenges around the bot, but so what you've got up on the screen now is the home page. So we built it initially just as a web browser. It's the fastest and least expensive way to get something like this launched. We're in the process of making it mobile friendly, as well as the ability to interact through WhatsApp so that people who can't afford data can still interact with it. So this is just the home screen, and if you go to the next slide, so it's maybe hard to read, but Asia, can you read that, the Swahili?
Yeah.
So basically what this...
Translated in Swahili.
Yeah, so that's it. So in the dialog box there, you've got the Swahili version of what can I do to reduce negative thoughts? I was going to try and read it in Swahili, but nobody wanted me to do that.
Naweza kufanya nini kupunguza mawazo mabaya? Mawazo mabaya, yani wale mawazo ambayo yanakuletea shida kwa akili. Unaweza kufanya nini kuyapunguza? Swali hilo.
So if we go to the next slide. Okay, so if you see up top, that's the response from the chatbot in Swahili. And I've provided the English translation below. Candidly, I would say this response is about a C, C minus. One of the other things we are actively doing now is what's referred to as fine-tuning the model. So you ask the model a lot of questions, and then you judge the answers and tell the model which answers are good and which answers are bad. We're also in the process of loading additional mental health specific and sexual and reproductive health specific information around disability so that the model has more information to draw from. But this is just an example of one way in which a young person with a disability might interact with Tumaini.
Thank you so much, Chris. To add on those tools, I personally use one of those accessible tools called 4C. 4C is for mental awareness, and it's not a Kenyan-based one, but it's a nice one, very much accessible. Live therapists there. I also run my own segment there at 8 p.m. to 8:30 every Wednesday, and it's for mental awareness. So my segment is all about mindful moments. If you want to join, just Google 4C, or if you want it, you can text me. I'll send you a link. You go in. And there is also another one, Kenyan-based. It's called Akili Bora. Have you ever heard of Akili Bora? There is one. It's called Akili Bora, and it's a nice one, but I haven't used it, I personally. But it's a nice one. It's really a nice one. From those who have used this, they say it's a nice one. And the floor is yours. Any questions? Yeah. Yes. Lady in red. Yes.
Mine is not a question, but I commend you for being the strong person you are, because I'm just seeing through as you're moderating, you're having a meltdown.
No, I'm not having a meltdown. I've got something, something enters my eye when I was passing by. So it's really disturbing. And it's now I've got like a flu. So that's why. No, I'm not having any mental down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not having mental down. I was walking by and from the DH, and I was walking by, something enters my eyes, and it has been like this. It has been like this the whole time. It has been like this, but I'm not having mental down.
Okay. So since I'm already in red, today I decided to wear the Kenyan T-shirt because yes, of course I'm a Kenyan.
Yeah.
And I'm also autistic. For us neurodivergents, we have issues having a safe space in the mental health community. Reason being is most of us don't know how to communicate our feelings because of like our traits. Us having autism, because we have issues communicating. How then do we enter into your world of AI to actually promote the awareness on mental health? Because we have anxiety disorder, of which I also have. I have ADHD, recently got diagnosed. The two of them actually come together, autism and ADHD. And there's also a lot to do with mental health. But I think because of the few people like myself that really don't, the few people that are really bold and are able to speak about our feelings, how then do we promote more on now the mental health awareness into it?
Which of the panelists do you want to answer it?
All of them, actually.
No, we've got less time. We will take one
because of
question
time.
and then that's it. Which one do you want to answer?
I could ask.
Mark?
Yeah.
In the middle is Mark.
Yes.
All right, Mark, you've got 30 seconds.
Because he's the AI person, right?
Yeah, you've got 30 seconds.
Yeah. So first of all, we have worked on a curriculum that's teaching people how you're supposed to engage with AI, and one thing I've come to pick up is that as much as there's a lot of unbias in AI, if you let the tool know you have a certain disability as you engage with it, or maybe like you let it know, like I have anxiety disorder, or maybe I have ADHD, it's actually going to curate and tailor responses to you. In case you're having a conversation and you go off track, it's actually going to bring you back, like we were talking about this, and it keeps you on track. So for my case, I got an ADHD. My psychiatrist was telling me he's picking up a bit of ADHD from a conversation we were having. So today in the morning, I decided, let me talk with my Gemini and know what Gemini thinks. I had a chat, I would want to show you, but not now. I had a chat with Gemini, and I asked Gemini, like, what do you think from the conversations we were having? What could you be picking up? And Gemini told me he's picking up ADHD and gave me several reasons why. You know, I've never told Gemini I have this, but he was picking up ADHD. But I'm supposed to see a psychologist so that we can do like the test, which, come to think of it, it's something Tumaini can do, like to run those tests based on whatever you are feeling and whatever you think or whatever is going on in your head. And we should be looking on how we can get this app delivered to your WhatsApp without having to download apps, because we are getting to a time whereby us, even myself, I'm getting to uninstall apps because a lot of security issues and everything. So if we can deliver it to your WhatsApp, accessible. Yeah, with
Okay,
just a short messenger.
Thank you so much, Mark. Time is not with us. We could take more questions, but what you could do.
I have a question from our watch party in Botswana.
Just a minute. Okay. We could take more questions, but we've got six. Time is not on our side, please. Time is not on our side. Showing the answers.
Please.
Yes.
Can I go ahead? Okay, so the question from our watch party in Botswana is they're asking about your professional stance on the marriage of people with intellectual disabilities, and whether they can or should marry, and the impact this has on their social rights and social isolation and mental health. Any views from the panel on that topic? Thank you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
I can. It's about the marriage of people with intellectual disabilities, and in some countries it's not allowed. What is your view on that, and the impact of social isolation that this may cause, and the impact on their mental health, people with learning disabilities?
Thank you for your question. Mental health is not cured in isolation. So the policy in Botswana is rather discriminatory and reminds me of the time when persons who are with HIV were not allowed to marry. And that isolation increases stigma, and it worsens your mental health. So from my opinion, we should be advocating for persons with disability to be able to enjoy social companion like any other human being. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more adds up from the panelists, or that's it? Regarding the questions? Okay. Lady in specs. Yes, go ahead, please.
In using AI, I want to know if there is disadvantages when it comes to using AI for awareness and the researches, if there are any disadvantages, and how can it be addressed?
Anyone from the panelists to answer? Can you repeat the question? They said they had it.
I said, in using AI for the awareness or researches, I want to know if there are disadvantages when it comes to using AI or Gemini. And if yes, how can it be addressed?
So one of the challenges with these large language models is something called hallucinations. So the model will give you a response, and it uses the same authoritative tone even when it's giving you information that turns out to be false. I'm a lawyer by trade, and there have been a number of cases in the United States where lawyers have used ChatGPT to write a legal brief, and ChatGPT will make up a case and actually make up the case, the citation, the quotation, and then the lawyers get caught having used AI to write their brief. So hallucinations are a real thing, and there's not much that you can do to eliminate hallucinations. What we're doing with Tumaini is a strategy that's known as retrieval augmented generation. So what you do is you provide, you take a foundation model like ChatGPT or Llama, and then on top of it you put a curated knowledge base. So these are documents, this is information that you've selected yourself that you know is trustworthy, and the model then will refer to that knowledge base when it's answering your questions. Again, it can't eliminate hallucinations 100%, but using this retrieval augmented generation is a way to mitigate that and ensure that the information that the model is giving is accurate and real.
Thank you so much. Okay, lady in green, this will be our last question.
Yeah, hello, once again. Yeah, yes, I have a question. Sorry, I didn't get the name of the gentleman in the middle. Yeah, you're talking about AI. Yeah, my question is, does AI give the right, true information? Or, because when I tried to use it, some friends told me that sometimes it gives fake information. But here we are talking about AI. Is the information provided right, or give us clear advice so that when I go back, I can continue using it? Thank you.
Okay, so AI, yes, it gives true information, and other times it gives deep fakes. They're called deep fakes. And most of them, they arise from it generating things that by combining information from different sources, because it's trained from different sources. Most of the time it will give true information, and depends, now you comes in the human aspect, whereby you need to verify some of the information. Maybe tools like Gemini gives you the option of verifying. It's usually at the bottom where you just need to click on confirm information, and it is going to get to you like the exact source where it's getting the information. So yeah, it gives true information.
Thank you so much, Mark. Our time is up, but we will do what we call last parting shot from each of us as we go. Also myself will let you know that.
Please, 2 seconds, just a second. It's not a question.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I see the need. Thank you very much for that. I see the need to make a comment and clarify on that issue that was talking about Botswana policies and marriage.
Yes.
I don't think we really got the sense. It was a question. What's your opinion? Because there are certain policies elsewhere, not that, it's just that the person was from Botswana, okay, that say they cannot marry people with intellectual disabilities. So the question was, what's your view on that? I feel obligated, well, I'm from Botswana, I feel obligated to clarify this because the good doctor said the Botswana policies are discriminatory, so we might just have gotten it wrong. Thank you.
Thank you so much on that. We'll do our last thing, our last parting shot, and we'll start by myself. I will say that so it is an honor having you here. Thank you so much for being here and listening to us. Any question, please just send them, and we will be here to answer them. And I will end by saying, it is who you are, regardless of what society is, what does society see you as, but it is you, it is you. You have to be true and be with oneself, and then understand yourself, and the rest are just others. So be you. Thank you.
Thank you. My parting shot is there is a cultural difference when it comes to matters mental health, and we are using a more westernized approach to mental health in Africa, and it clashes most of the time with our traditional and cultural beliefs. And apps like Tumaini are bringing that gap by bringing in languages such as Kiswahili. And I do hope that from this conference, we will not discriminate persons with mental health conditions, and we will embrace them as one. Thank you.
So my parting shot will be one worry that people would have, and therapists in the house would agree that maybe our job will be taken away. That's our worry that most people would have, that AI is taking our jobs and everything. No, the AI, what is offering, okay, as much as there's some negative effects of it, which could be dependence on AI, the human aspect is still needed, and that's where the therapist will still come in. We are not taking away your therapy, so just providing you a solution at your comfort. And the therapist, it's now for you to take the next step. And the therapist will offer the human touch, and AI will offer some level of privacy with information that you cannot share with AI. So to bridge that, again, we have a curriculum that would be teaching people on how and what you should engage with AI and what not to. And also, you can check my profile on the QR code around my wheelchair, and you'll get to know more about all those things. And I'll still be around. I'll share how I leverage on AI tools and everything for my daily use and everything. And it was great.
I just thank Enable for including mental health in this conference. It's a really important issue, and I hope that everybody in here obviously has some interest in mental health, that we can continue the conversation between now and the next conference, so this doesn't become a once a